Hey there, this is Jay. Welcome. Today I'm going to dissect the website of Toggl.com. I'm going to dissect mainly their homepage and show you 5 specific sections that I think are really well solved from a conversion rate optimization perspective. And hopefully you can get inspiration from this and start applying some of these ideas into your business. Stick to the end. Make sure to stick to the end if you want me to show you my favorite section and highlight of Toggl.com, which is a section where they are addressing objections from their users in a very smart way. Great UI, great copy, and I think in a definitely high performing way. So stick to the end to see how that works. So let's get started. Toggl, for those of you who don't know, is basically a time tracking software. So very simple. I am a pretty big fan of Toggl because I've been using it for a ton of years at this point, and we are using Toggl at Jumps. We ran a very small 4-person team, myself included, and we track our time using Toggl, sometimes just for productivity, sometimes for the sake of time tracking for clients because we report how we use our time to help them. So I'm a user of the product, so I know it pretty well, and it's packed with tons of features. But in essence, it's not only a time tracking software for teams, as it says here. They serve a ton of different industries, use cases, and different types of users. So you will get solopreneurs, freelancers, consultants in Toggl, but you will also get small teams like Jams, or you will get 20, 30, 50-person companies, or even something much larger where different managers are running their own teams, etc. And as you can see here very quickly in the above the fold of Toggl, they are helping, as it says here, a bunch of different great giant clients. But we'll get there in a second. So now that you know Toggl, let's go to the first section that I want to look into, which is the navbar. Why am I going to get into a navbar of a SaaS product? Mainly because the product is quite huge. It has tons of features, tons of use cases, tons of different industries that they serve. And that information is pretty much a lot to show. And they are doing, something that most SaaS companies are doing out there in their websites, which is using dropdowns, yes, but they are doing it in a pretty interesting way, which is using this sort of full width dropdowns, which I love. I am not a big fan of this switch from sort of a dark mode context to a light mode one. Sort of my eyes sort of get kind of flashy. Maybe it's just me or my monitor. But they are solving it pretty well. The UI execution here is really, really good. And I think they're doing, in addition to this nice UI resource of going, full width for such a large amount of content, they're doing something interesting, which is they're not saying features. They're not calling their features features. They're calling them use cases, which might sound quite stupid or simple, but it's a great way with empathy to basically talk to your user and say like, hey, here are the use cases you can get out of Toggl. And they're obviously not saying that just for saying it. They are, combining that with great copy, adding context on each of the features that the product has, or the main ones, which are these 5 features, empathizing with the user in a pretty nice way. So I think this is great. And they're combining this with a much more interesting dropdown, which is solutions. Look at what you're doing here. They are doing 7 specific, no more, these are 6 here, 9 specific landing pages for 9 different, applications or real industry applications, or real industry use cases of Toggl. So consultants, creative agencies, big teams, small teams, etc. This is wonderful, and they are definitely doing a great work here on SEO, because they are having a specific landing page for lawyers and attorneys, so they are definitely doing a great work here. So overall, awesome execution here on the navbar. Let's move on to the second section, which is one of the most important ones, or the most important element in any website, which is the above the fold. So everything you see once you get in my case, is this entire thing you can see here in my monitor. So the entire navigation section, the hero section, this clientele section, and then the initial title of the upcoming section that we will review next. What's going on in the hero? So we have a bunch of typical traditional elements of any sort of SaaS landing page. A main title, bold title, basically addressing a main promise. So frictionless time tracking in this case. Frictionless is the main thing they're promising. And then they go to a subtitle, a typical subtitle, where they sort of give you more insights on what the product actually is and what it does. So a little bit of features. So give your team a time tracker they'll love. They'll actually love. They're definitely comparing themselves to other time trackers in the industry. And help your managers make profitable project decisions with meaningful time data insights. So this is pretty good. And then they have their main CTA, start tracking for free, see how it works, opens up a very short 1-minute commercial video. And then on the right, they are showing this thing. I am not a big fan, or not necessarily a big fan of this graph here, composed of some UI and some visual illustrations, because they are sort of, I would love to see something here that sort of shows me visually how is it that time tracking with Toggl is frictionless, or why should I love it as an employee of a company, or how would I make a decision more profitable, as it says here. So I think they are not sort of complementing the hero, but what they are doing in essence is simply showcasing more stuff, like 100+ integrations, so fair enough. Then you have some social proof, which is client logos. Basically, they're showing that they help huge companies, Amazon, Uber, SAP, Wise, you name it. So huge companies here. Again, not sure how I feel about this. It's like, okay, it's impressive that you help Amazon, but like, can you show me a review or a testimonial or something from an employee at Amazon that actually uses Toggl? And I think if they want to showcase these huge clients, obviously they can. I would definitely add something more in this section. For instance, it would be great to combine this section with a small review, a 5-star review of an employee from Uber. That would be beautiful. Even if they can't do that, you can see here that they have tons of real case studies. This is a wall of case studies that they have in this page if you want to check it out, with tons of real cases of real clients. So they could definitely add a little bit more of credibility and a little bit more of social proof here by adding something much more realistic. Again, just a comment. It's definitely impressive to have LinkedIn as a client, but I think this could be much more enriched by adding a bit more of context here. So let's move on. If you want to show some of your features, in this case, they are showcasing 4 main features of the product. This is a great way to do it. So tabs, forcing your user to start interacting actively with your site. This is a great way to do it. And then obviously switching content on each tab. And interestingly enough, what they're doing is they are putting a testimonial on each of the features. Obviously, the testimonial is related to that feature. So, in this case, project tracking, it says changed our project time tracking into an organized, cohesive activity. So pretty good work there, pretty good work, definitely. Again, not a big fan of how they are showing social proof here. This is what appears to be a G2 Crowd review, which is one of the review websites, but not a big fan of the fact that it only says Steve and small business, so no real full name, no photo, no real company name, no LinkedIn profile, no nothing. It's just a very basic review, and it's not even linked to the G2 review Toggl page. So not sure how I feel about this. This could definitely be enriched, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good, and they are definitely showcasing really good glimpses of UI on each feature, which is interesting, and taking you to a dedicated landing page for each feature, so more about time billing. So again, if you want to showcase your features or your main features in your product, this is definitely a really good way to do it, forcing your user to interact with it and play around with this, and then also taking your user to a specific detailed landing page. Let's move on to one of the latest sections, which is this wall of love. Why am I showcasing this? Because wall of loves are pretty famous. A testimonial, sort of wall of love testimonial thing is quite famous in, info product businesses or course-based businesses, coaching businesses, community businesses, indie product businesses, some software as a service businesses. But it's not very common to see this thing, this typical wall of love full of testimonials and full of love in SaaS businesses, especially in such a corporative context like this. Toggl is telling you that they help Amazon, Uber, Wise, like large companies, and they are still having this beautiful wall of love. And they're doing it in a pretty interesting way. They are saying that they got 120,000 plus users in the past 30 days. I am not sure if this is true or not. It doesn't sound very credible, but it's pretty interesting how they are doing it. And it's great that they are doing this little wall of love in here as a B2B SaaS company. Again, I am not a big fan of how they are approaching reviews and testimonials. This is not very credible. This is not even linked to Capterra or to the G2 reviews that are individually integrated here. And again, if they are having such large clients as they say they have, and they have so much case studies in their case study page, why not showing real testimonials and real comments from real employees that have a photo and a name and a LinkedIn profile and a real company name? So again, I am not a big fan of how they are showcasing all the social proof and credibility in the site, but I think the way they are approaching social proof with this nice wall of love is definitely interesting. So good job there. Let's go to the most wanted section of this site, which is my favorite and definitely a great way to wrap this up, which is this objection addressing video. You might have seen me reviewing Basecamp in the past. You might have seen my video, or you might have seen my post where I have this little carousel post with tons of insights from basecamp.com. And they also have an objection addressing section, which is basically their main hero section once you land in basecamp.com, currently at least in April 2024. They are basically saying like, hey, if you are this type of user or this type of person and you have this problem or this conjunction of problems or concerns, I am going to let you know how exactly we can help you. And this is great. So let's see what's going on here. So we have a concern manager, which it's probably the ICP of Toggl, their ideal customer profile, or the main profile that uses Toggl. And it says, time tracking. Do you mean giving more work to my employees? Do you mean micromanaging my employees or spying on them? This is the concern manager being like, are you really talking about this? And Toggl responds, no, we do not. We see time as an opportunity with this beautiful star surrounding highlighted word. And then check this out, an opportunity to convert time tracked into actionable insights that boost productivity, increase efficiency, and balance team workloads, so you can drive profitability and growth while prioritizing your team's trust and well-being. So awesome copy. And then they expand, being like, hey, this is the companies that use Toggl Track. This is what they see when they use Toggl Track. So 40 plus hours saved monthly. And here you have real social proof with real case studies. So 40 plus hours saved monthly, 100% time tracking adoption, 20% increase in profitability. Want better insights on how your team is spending their time? Start tracking for free. So this is gorgeous. Great UI, great animations and interactions, awesome copy, really good copy. And definitely this is, to me, I'm not sure if the data says the same, but looking at this might be, in my opinion, one of the highest performing and highest converting sections of Toggl. I am definitely going to steal this section as a reference on how to address objections for users, for concerned users, and start experimenting with this format on different websites, different industries, different niches. So definitely take a look at this, try it out in your own business, because I think this could work really well. So awesome work, Toggl. Thanks for the inspiration here. All right, my friends, this is it. It took some time to review Toggl, lots of information. I hope you found this video insightful and useful. Hopefully you can start experimenting with your design team on your own business website. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay great.